And then another. And then another.
Showtime! Woo! 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 Silent and profiling. Woo! It's live and in color. Woo!
Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report on the Buffalo Fan Base Network. I'm your host, Tommy, to the highest degree, to the TOP from the 313. And by my side is my main man, my toucan Sam, the one they call the Apex Man, Mr. Mikey. Happy Victory Monday to you, and happy Victory Monday to all of Bill's Mafia out there.
Is it Happy Victory Monday?
It's
because yesterday we didn't feel like it was because it was raw emotions.
You know what?
Very happy, but I will tell you, I am very happy today.
Tis the season.
Tis the season. I am very happy today, and it was a Happy Victory Monday to everybody. So I think we got our frustrations out yesterday's show. Today we'll bring more of the positive spin to what we saw yesterday. Yes.
By the way, did you even recognize what this is?
DG, it's Rudolph, right?
It's from Christmas Vacation, the movie.
Yeah.
We're drinking the eggnog. I had that for years. I always busted out during Christmas. But yeah, the Apex Man. He wants to know what's going on with the Apex Man.
Daniel, I don't know if you remember, but I'm Apex 00 in all the chats. So that's how I started. Before I became Mikey, I was Apex 00 in all the chats. So it used to say Mikey Apex 00 on my thing, and I've dropped that over the last year. But that's why he calls me the Apex Man. That's where I originally started. When I started with #sports, it was from being in their chats.
Exactly.
And then hashtag connected Tommy and I, and it's just gone from there.
So, Mikey, real quick, I want to touch on something before we go on with this podcast. So last night when we went live at the post game, I said this to you. I'm going to play the video clip because I kind of did a little video clip, and then I'm going to show you another video clip that right when we ended the podcast, I watched the player interviews, coach interviews, and boy, I kind of was right. I want to say it, and I'm probably not true, but I wonder if the Bills didn't show much today.
Yeah, I remember,
like Brady. I wonder if he dialed it back, kind of played it almost simple football today. I don't know if that would be the case, but maybe he's saving his plays for the playoffs.
I don't think so. I just think they played.
Now, then I'll show you this. This is interesting. So last night, I don't know if you caught this from Josh Allen. I'll go ahead and play this now.
So we're at a weird spot right now where we're still fighting for the 1 seed, but we don't control our own destiny. And as an offense, how much are we willing to show? Are we wanting to go extreme and show everything in our arsenal? When there's a line that you got to toe. But at the end of the day, we're just trying to go 1-0 each week and find a way to win against these.
So I kind of was right on that. Or my feelings were, I feel like they were holding a little bit back, saving the good old playbook for the playoffs. It seemed like watching that game. That's why I mentioned it yesterday, because I'm like, I have not seen it so basic for a while, like vanilla.
It was very vanilla. And we talked about that. It
makes sense now. Yes, and it totally makes sense. It
made
me feel better.
Okay. I guess my question is, how are you going to stay basic like that and be losing?
Right. Exactly. I'm with you. Why not you have to, I don't know. Maybe they thought that they could still do enough to win.
That's a fucking gamble, man. When you haven't locked up the 2 seed and you're going out there just playing basic crap, like that is a gamble.
But who does that go back to? And I think that's a McDermott decision.
That's a coach's decision. That's a McDermott. That's a Brady. That's an organizational decision. Bean, I bring Bean into that shit. When you make a decision like that, where you're like, okay, we're gonna run a basic playbook today against a division opponent. When you haven't locked up the 2 seed and you're still going for the 1 seed,
right?
I have a hard time believing that that's what happened.
I mean, I don't know why Josh would kind of say that. I mean, he didn't come out right and say it, but he pretty much told you right there, like, we didn't really show our cards there too much.
From a coaching position, decision.
I get it, but go back to that game, right? And
I get it.
I'm just saying, we said it through text. Like, why is Josh doing, like, why is he going deep so much? Why are we going out of like what we normally have been doing, what's been working for most of the season, right? Like, why are all of a sudden are we kind of it just seemed like maybe we were just, like I said, not showing our cards, kind of going basic.
Like a preseason game is what it felt like.
That's how it felt. Yes. You know what, too? And I didn't see a lot. Remember we said it. We're like, you know what? That game felt flat, like no emotion. The players didn't really seem like they wanted to be there, but they knew they still had to get the win. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, let's just get this over with. That's a preseason vibe.
Yeah.
That's just like, hey, man.
That's
like,
what it felt like yesterday. Yesterday felt like a preseason. Right. Listen, I came in saying I'm going to bring positive vibes, and you started me negative.
I'm sorry. It's not negative. I'll be honest with you. I actually I felt better by hearing that. And that's why I was asking you, because I was like, damn, is this like, there's no way that's what we're going to show. You know what I mean? Like, damn, how do we fall off from the Lions game so bad to this? But I feel like this.
But we talked about this yesterday too. We said we didn't see the tackle trap pulls. We didn't see any of the real big orbit motions or the any quick throws to the backs or any of that stuff. It was very vanilla. Whatever they did yesterday was very vanilla. So if Josh says that, I mean, I guess I'll believe it. I just have more concerns about the coaches then. Why would you don't know why you're fighting for the ones, or maybe they've already popped it up that they don't think that Kansas City's losing the last 2 games.
That may in today they talked to McDermott. I didn't catch the whole thing because most of it is coach speak and he doesn't give a lot, but they did ask him about resting players. And he said, we'll see over the next 2 games. Obviously, we'll see is because they're going to wait to see what happens Wednesday. Let's be real. And if the Chiefs go ahead and win Wednesday, it's a wrap. Like, they got the 1 seed. There's nothing that we can do. And I will, and I said it in a video I did today, expect, if that happens, especially if that happens, expect very, very boring, vanilla offense and really defense, and expect players to be out. And we could lose one of 2 or even both, depending on who we start, who we rest. Like, I'm just throwing that out there. What you saw Sunday, you may, and what you saw Sunday, you might see again.
Because right now, what is separating Lamar from Josh right now is the wins losses.
I agree.
If they go back and they start doing that shit, they're going to tank his MVP season.
Yeah, and it's very possible. I'm just throwing that out there. I think Wednesday's a big day for Bills Mafia to watch, because I really believe if the Chiefs lose, then the Bills will turn it up a notch. They have to, right? That would be really dumb if they don't against the Jets. And then obviously, what time does the Patriots play week 18? And what time does the Bills play week 18? Because I would assume if they're playing before us, they are definitely.
I have a feeling that Houston, if it goes down to once it goes into that, they're gonna be Sunday night.
So Chiefs are Sunday night, week 18.
No. If they'll be flexed into Sunday night. If they lose on Christmas, they're gonna flex that Denver KC game to Sunday night.
I see what you're saying. So then you think that, and then then that's a disadvantage to us, and then we'll have to play our starters the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Because then they don't know. If Casey, you know what I mean? Then it's just really just
if you know
okay.
they're
We'll
going
see.
to.
And that would be
because they flexed
crazy.
Buffalo, Miami into Sunday night for that division. A few years back, they flexed KC and Denver into Sunday night when KC was going for the 1 seed.
Yeah, it would just be wow. Guys, I'm gonna tell you, like I said, Wednesday is important. Wednesday is very important as far as getting the 1 seed. If they win, they win. Listen, I know Mikey thinks they're gonna win. I think they're gonna lose. I do. I think
nothing
these next 2 games
from the Steelers tell me they're gonna be able to beat Kansas City.
I just have this bro, Mikey, I've been saying it for a couple weeks now that I really truly believe. Now I thought Cleveland was going to give them a little bit of a hard time. They didn't. But I really truly believe going to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh needs to win too. You know what I mean? Like they for seeding and
needs
they've
to
been
win
losing
more than
period.
Kansas City does.
That's what I'm saying. So listen, you don't think they're gonna want to make it a dogfight and just go after them? Of course they are. Like I really truly believe they're gonna lose. Now the Denver game, I'm not so certain about. That one I'm on the fence about. I think they lose to Pittsburgh on Wednesday. I really do. And then boy, that will be interesting week 18.
Denver has to win that week 18 game to get in.
Oh, now that will be even more
Can
interesting.
you imagine? KC needs to win it for the 1 seed. Denver needs to win it to get in.
That'd be wild, dude.
That's what the NFL's hoping for.
Yeah, why? I mean, hey, it would be it's great for football, right?
The turnout for that game.
Oh my God. You're right. That would be huge. That'd be epic. That'd be a great game.
Miami and Cincinnati all have a chance to.
They do.
They'll get in if the Bengals beat Denver this week.
Mm-hmm.
They all have a chance to get in come week 18.
Mm.
You know, so
it's going to be a wild
finish
race. Wild finish, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's not come to think of it.
I also pulled this up. I don't know if you were interested in this. I didn't talk to you much during before we went on live, but about this. But I wanted to show you this. This is kind of interesting. I've never seen this before, or at least on Bill's Wire that they showed this. The snap count. You ever see Bill's Wire do? It's pretty cool. Like I never saw. I know you can get it some other places, but
I get mine from Shout, and then I get the all 22 breakdown also from Joe Marino.
Got you. Did you see this one yet though? The breakdown of the offense and defense?
No.
Okay, so I just figured you want to see this. Why not? Right? Let's take a look at that. So here's the offense, and we have the defense as well. So here's a snap count. Obviously, Torrance Brown, Allen. Look at that, pretty 100%.
Edwards missed the 2 plays when he got rolled up on.
Yep. Is there anything? Basically, why I'm pulling this up? Is there anything that's here surprises you so far?
Surprises me, yes.
Yeah, when we're going down
Amari at 54%.
Amari Cooper, yeah, 54. Yes, you're right. I honestly thought he was gonna have. Remember, I picked him. I thought he was gonna have a bounce back kind of game. Yeah. Like Allen was gonna try to get him more involved.
You have Mac Hollins at 71. You have Keon at 66, but then you have Amari at 54. Also, Knox over Kincaid.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so now that brings us back to, and I'll put that back up. That brings us back to the playbook. And what are we trying to do out here? Are we resting Amari Cooper a little bit because we know that he still has that maybe a little bit with the wrist thing going on, and we don't want to have to overly overuse him when it's not necessary. I'm just throwing that out there. Same with Kincaid. Yeah. And not, you know what I mean? Like, it's just interesting to me.
Slowly working him back in.
Yes, and just kind of going, okay, we don't really need him much. In
a tight game like that, how do you not have your playmakers on the field more?
I agree with that. Like, Mikey, I totally agree with that, because if we're blowing him out, then I totally understand.
Ty Johnson outsnapped Kincaid.
Yeah, that's wild, huh? That is wild.
Mac Hollins doubled Kincaid up.
Like, that should never happen, in my opinion. Like, Mac Hollins should never, and I like Mac Hollins, but he should never be over Cooper. He shouldn't be over Kincaid.
Like, I understand.
Ty Johnson should be over Kincaid. I mean,
I understand Mac out there for like blocking purposes and things, but look at seeing Kincaid with only 20 snaps and Cooper with 32 is concerning.
Look at James Cook. James Cook's
21 snaps.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And we had what, 50 something snaps total?
59. Yeah. I mean,
just over
21?
a third of the snaps went to Cook, and he was killing it.
Reggie
How do you not have
Gilliam
your
got
best
more than
player out
Davis.
there? Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't get that at all.
That's what I'm saying. So the only way, that's why I brought up the playbook thing. Is this a McDermott thing of just kind of resting players and getting ready for a playoff push? He doesn't want to hurt players at the same time. I'm just trying to figure this all out. I think that's what they're trying to do. But to your point, we still have
That's
an opportunity to get the
concerning.
1 seed. Right. And it was a close game. You know what I mean? If we didn't have the opportunity, fine, I get it. You know what I mean? But
you're trying to keep guys healthy
weird.
for the playoffs. But
yeah,
like okay, you want to say Cooper is dealing with an injury and still coming back from it. Kincaid's still dealing with an injury and coming back from it. Fine. What was the reason Cook only saw 21 of the snaps?
Yeah, that's wild to me.
When he's your big play guy out there. When you look at who was on the field,
right? I
Cook
agree.
and Shakir, your 2 big play guys.
And I think Ray Davis should be out there more too. I mean, come on, man. Like Ray Davis should get a little.
Josh Allen loves Ty Johnson, calls him the best third down back in the league. Ray Davis isn't going to see more snaps than him.
No, I get it, but over Gilliam, I mean, I guess they're having Gilliam for blocking, but still.
Why not? Yeah, see, that's the other thing. We used Gilliam a ton for the first time in forever. Like, why was he out there over?
That's what I'm saying.
Some of these other guys.
He wasn't even playing some games.
I don't even see Q Johnson on here.
No, neither do I. He's not on there. He's not. So, yeah. So, a little not concerning, but I mean, it's just odd. It's really, but
maybe Josh was telling the truth. Looking at the
that's what I'm. Yes, that's what I'm thinking, Mikey.
That is some.
I think this was a
shit.
I think they went into the Lions game, and and I think they went all out. You know what I mean? They showed their playbook for the most part. That was a statement win, in my opinion, right? Because it wasn't a must win, but I think it was more of a, hey, we can fucking compete against the best, and we're going to show you we can, in my opinion, right? Because it's an NFC team. Who gives a fuck, right?
Yeah.
But that was a statement game, I think, from Sean McDermott, coaching staff, and Josh Allen, like the team in a whole, right? Like, hey, you guys saying we haven't beaten anyone but Chiefs? Okay, we're going to go out there. And that's what they did. They had a great game. They showed up. But I think after that, I almost feel like McDermott had that meeting with the coaching staff. It was like, hey, we're going to dial back we have 3 games remaining, twice against the Patriots, Jets. We should win these games. Let's not show our full card deck, a full deck of cards here. And let's just get through these games without injury. I almost feel that's what happened. And I don't think he thought that we were going to be in a close game against the Patriots either. You know what I mean? That's how I saw it.
See, then he's delusional. It's still the NFL.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree.
Going in with, handicapping yourself is the dumbest thing I've seen.
And and I think I almost feel like you saw the look on his face when we were down 14-0. That right. Oh, maybe I made the wrong decision here.
Something's not stirring the Kool-Aid, boys. That is just weird.
It is weird. Yep. Let's get to the defense now. All right. So here's the defense. Now tell me if anything is off what you don't like or whatever.
Bernard, Bishop, Benford, Elam all played the most. Kim Lewis played all but 1. Tron played 77, but he left the game. It's the reason why he didn't have all of it.
Correct. Yeah.
Oliver 73, Rousseau 71, Dorian 66. Okay.
That's right for the most part. Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see anything crazy there.
Yeah, I don't see anything crazy here.
Yeah, that looks normal, like the snap count.
Oh,
by the way, BS
got
yes, I only got 1. BS is week to week, so which is no surprise.
So I wonder who they're releasing because they signed back Morrow.
They did. I saw that. They saw Morrow.
Who they're either going to put on IR or they're going to release.
I don't know.
Do something.
Maybe they're thinking about BS, even though he's week to week.
I say throw his ass on IR. Be done with him.
I agree. Yeah, I totally agree.
I do not want to see that guy on the field. He's looked lost 2 games in a row.
Lost, and he just can't stay healthy anyways. This is really a waste. So what, you have him dressed and he just gets hurt anyways? I mean, what's
time to let him go.
And he's not playing good? Yeah.
Time to
move on from the BS experience.
Yep, I'm with you on that. Yeah, no.
Right.
You want to know what I saw? That there was no Micah Hyde on there.
No, there was zero Micah Hyde.
I don't know if you heard Terrell Bernard's discussion, but there was a lot of discussion about how he was having to put guys in place, like the safeties and the guys that are lined up next to him. He was running around just putting guys in place. So there was a lot of breakdowns in coverage and things. If you have Micah Hyde, that doesn't happen. You have someone else to help Bernard. Why the hell isn't Micah Hyde out there? Just from an IQ standpoint,
I don't know.
Be directing traffic.
Yeah, and why not? Like, why not? It's 3 games. Why not ease him in there? Have him on 5 snap counts. You could have put him in there ease them in. You don't necessarily have to play in the full game, half game, even a quarter. Just throw. Yes, I just don't understand.
In situations like you do.
Yes,
pass rushers.
Yes.
Have a situational dime defense where he goes into safety and Cam comes up into the other slot.
I agree.
If Hyde was on there, Ingram wouldn't have had to come into the slot when Tron left. We could have slid Cam Lewis into the slot.
Yep. By the way, if anyone wants to know, there is football on, and Green Bay is whooping up on the Saints right now, 21-0. Not looking good for the Saints, but the Saints are pretty bad. It's in Green Bay, so I expected Green Bay to win by at least.
None of their stars are playing on the. Talking about preseason style.
Yeah,
on the Saints, that's what it looks like.
They got nobody. They're always banged up.
Even Kamara sat.
Yeah, they're gonna. It's not gonna be a pretty ending to this game. So
no.
It's already pretty bad, 21-0. So they just want the season to be over.
It's ugly. Did you hear McDermott? They were asked about Dorian Williams playing over Matt Milano today.
I did not. What was it?
So it came out. One of the beat writers asked about, Dorian seems like he's in a better spot than Milano. Basically, McDermott said Milano's basically going to have the rest of the season to try to get back into situations. However, if it doesn't work that way and he's not, and Dorian's the better place, Milano's a team guy, and they'll put Dorian back in there.
Okay.
Holy crap! Merry Christmas, Callie.
Whoa, Callie Blitz! I gotta hit that.
Hit
for
that
you.
horn.
Hold on. I will hit that horn for you. Here we go.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it, Callie.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
Never obligated, always appreciated.
Yes, I appreciate that.
We do appreciate it. But going back to what I was just talking about, what's your thoughts on McDermott giving Milano the run of the rest of the season, and then knowing if it's not better, they're going to put Dorian back in?
I think it's the right decision.
I think Dorian's played better.
I think Dorian has. Now it's. I hate the whole a guy wins a job over injury. You know what I mean? Like, however,
but the other guy's not back yet. Like,
exactly.
Healthy.
If the other guy, I totally agree. If the guy can't produce what you want him to produce on the field, you can't hurt your team because he was the guy once. You know what I mean? Like, you got to do the right thing. And if right now is playing Dorian Williams the right thing heading into the playoffs, then yeah, you have to go with the guy, the hot hand, really, the guy that's doing the better job.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna play Dorian. I think it's gonna be some sort of split, or
well, you know what I mean.
Milano will get the majority of it.
Exactly.
Try to get him up and running. But I think if we're going in and Milano's still not to where we need him, which I don't think he's going to be this year, personally.
He seems shaky so far, bro.
He seems shaky. Rusty. He hasn't played in
rusty. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I saw it on some like things that he normally doesn't.
He looks really good on some plays, and then he looks a bit slow on some plays.
Slow.
Trigger isn't there yet
to react. Yeah, his reaction time, like cutting, to make a tackle, is not there yet.
Yeah. And that's where I want Dorian. Like when Dorian came into the game, when Spector went out yesterday, he changed the way the defense played.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I still don't know why BS was over. I don't get that.
Because Dorian was dealing with an elbow injury. They were trying to limit him yesterday, and it just didn't work out.
Gotcha.
Before Milano's knee was when he was in defense play. Yeah, I agree. But we haven't seen that Milano yet. And honestly, I don't think we see that Milano until next year if we ever see him again.
Right. And that's what we talk about. Like, that's the problem, Mike, with big time injuries, like season ending injuries, especially like leg injuries. You never know what the player is going to be like when he gets back. And sometimes it takes another year really for them to get back to where they once were in a way. I mean, look, the proof is in the pudding. Look at Trey White, look at Von Miller. I mean, when they came back,
I went back and watched it. Vaughn looked good, actually, outside of the couple times when he ran past the running back.
No, I'm talking about last night. I'm talking about the year before.
Saying, yeah. Last year, Vaughn was nothing.
That's what I'm saying.
Like he shouldn't have been playing.
That's my point. Now remember, Vaughn came back, right. He shouldn't. And Trey White, same thing. Remember, everyone's Trey's going to be back week 1, week 2. I'm like, And then Trey came back halfway through or whatever or 3/4 of the way through, and he was not him. Like you could tell. It's rare players bounce back a year later and are performing at a high level after a big injury like that. So yeah, we'll see when it comes to Milano. I don't know.
I don't disagree with you. He's not the Vaughn of defensive player of the year, Vaughn, but he's still making plays.
Yeah, he's still getting pressure on the quarterback. He's just not necessarily getting home, right? I feel like it was weird yesterday. He was flying by the quarterback.
And again, it goes back to I think it was just the game plan. Like the game plan yesterday across the board was freaking odd. The whole thing was odd.
Weird. It was weird.
Justin comes in and says, "Do you think we resign Douglas?" I don't.
I don't either. I don't. I think
he's getting up there in age.
Getting up their age, I feel like he's lost a step a little bit.
Injuries are starting to mount up on him.
Yep. I still like him though, but I think it's time to get younger at that position and draft another corner.
I think Elam's going to have a shot next year to battle the veteran that they bring in, because they're going to bring in a veteran. And they're going to draft somebody. And look at Alex Austin. Alex Austin played fantastic against us yesterday. That was one of the Bills draft picks a few years back that I
remember that.
I got snatched off our practice squad because we couldn't find the room for him. And now he's he's starting other places.
I mean, it happens. Yeah, absolutely. So you never know what you get.
But also, I tip my cap to Bean and McDermott. They know how to draft corners. That's one thing they do.
They do. That's why I said you go and get young, draft a corner, and let them battle it out in camp.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Mr. Fulton.
There's Mr. Fulton. All right. Hello, Tommy and Mikey. Merry Christmas. Thank you. I'm getting ready for my big show next for America's Got Talent, and I'll be on the show on February 21st, 2025. You guys remember that, February 21st, 2025. Look for Mr. Fulton. I don't know if that's what you go by. If you want to put your name, so we can see on February 21st what contestant you are, and we'll be on the lookout. Okay, bud?
Yep. Let us know. Keep going down here. That's Mr. Fulton again. We need to draft huge DTs in the first or second round. Justin, I don't disagree with this at all. I just don't know if they will, because that's not their style. It's not their archetype. Hopefully they go against what their archetype is, like they did with the offensive line. Tommy, we talked about Cybo, right? Cybo wasn't the archetype that they looked for at all, but they drafted him anyways. You looked at Amari.
That is true.
Amari wasn't, or not Amari, but we looked at Keon. We talked about Keon. Keon wasn't the archetype of receiver that they usually go for, but we drafted him because they're changing things. Let's hope defensively they make that same change.
They really need to. Mikey, or things, or we're going to be complaining about the same things year after year on the defensive line. So,
I just don't think Buffalo cared about that game. Once the Chiefs won, it was like whatever. I do think they'll try to beat the Jets so they can rest everyone week 18. I agree 100% with this. I think they come out with a different mindset.
Yeah,
next week, a different playbook. They beat the Jets, and then week 18. I have a feeling. I think it's going to already be over, and then week 18 they're going to probably play Josh a quarter,
Once again, it depends what happens Wednesday.
Yep.
Honestly, that's why I'm telling everybody. Look, it's Christmas. Most of y'all probably are going to be home, I would assume, or somewhere, family's house. Like most people don't work on Christmas.
Yep.
Try to tune in, or at least quickly go on your phone if you can't go to a TV and peek at the score, because we want a Chiefs loss. If the Chiefs lose, then I think a lot changes on these next 2 games for us. A lot. And it has to. We have to you have to go for the 1 seed at that point. Like, you have to play better and go for those. You have to get the dub.
Yes. To answer your question, absolutely. There's been offensive juggernauts that won Super Bowls with average defenses.
Yes.
Go back to the the greatest show on turf.
Yeah.
The 2019 Chiefs with Tyreek and everybody? Was it that?
Yeah.
That one?
Yep. And you can say the same for defense, by the way.
Yeah.
It's just rare for defenses because it's not a lot are like unbelievable, like some of the best defenses ever.
Yeah, last year the Chiefs
offense
won the Super Bowl because of that defense.
That's fair. I would say the defense, but they weren't like Ravens defense that year. You know what I mean? Like I'm just saying they weren't like Tampa that just totally led the way. Like they were just they didn't need any help from the offense pretty much to win.
Matter of fact,
but those are rare.
The Tampa Super Bowl when they beat
Bears.
The Chiefs.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying the Tampa when they beat the Chiefs, they were offensively driven with an average defense.
Yes, you are right, 100%.
So there's a lot of those that are out there. Yeah. Very rarely do you see an offensive team with a really bad defense win the Super Bowl. An elite offense with a really bad defense, that doesn't happen very often.
That's and I don't think our defense is very bad. I think our defense is average.
I just think they need to get healthy.
I think it's average to good even when healthy, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, listen, if they could just get some stops in the start of the game and our offense can start strong and get us a little cushion, I think we'll be okay. It's just the opposite way is what we don't want, where the offense comes out a little sluggish and the defense just gives up early points. Then we could be in trouble. Like that's what worries me.
And
like, our offense has to be on.
Marino's saying here, he's saying, I think if the Bills' offense is operating at full capacity, even with a below average defense, they could still get there. And I agree.
I believe that too. I'm 100%. Like, if we see, put it this way, if we see what we put out for most of the season really on offense, but I would say, the Rams, the Lions game, I would even take
it back to the Chiefs game.
The Chiefs game too.
Niner
You're right.
Game. Like that 4-game stretch, they were just
that stretch. You're right. That stretch we had. Yep. I agree with that. And
then this week, I just, I don't tend to like Nick Wright at all.
Mm-hmm.
But what he said today was probably the most real thing I've ever heard someone say. Listen, after a 4-game stretch like that, they were bound to have come out flat one of these games. And it happens, and that happens from time to time for teams.
I still don't think I don't think we came out flat, Mikey. I think what happened was we did exactly what Josh Allen said we did.
Because zero energy though.
I think there was no energy because there was they looked at it
plan?
like no game plan. They looked at it like, let's just get in there. Let's get injury free, right? Let's just play, let's just get the dub, however we can, but without having to show our whole playbook, whatever. Like, that's what I saw out there. And how can players get up for that? Of course they were. How can they? You saw it in the body language. That was not a fun game.
Not only that, but how cold it was, and to have the game plan going in is like, what the hell?
Right. So come on. You think they were really like pumped up to play the Patriots on a meaningless not a meaningless game, but kind of meaningless game that we weren't showcasing anything, right? Like, and players who could have played sat out. Like, come on. We talked about this post game. Those guys could have more than likely could have played if it was an important game.
Could have played if it was important.
Yes. So I'm just throwing that out there. I don't think it was a game where the Bills just, like Nick Wright said, like we're just like, oh, we just finally had a game where we just, didn't play. I don't think that. I feel like McDermott had a plan, and he stuck with it.
I think he was right in the fact of, it was going against the.
I agree with some of that. I understand
it was
that.
going against the Patriots. They didn't have, a complex game plan. We'll put it that way.
Right. Yeah.
And the players came out feeling like, it is what it is. Let's get out of here. That's what it felt like to me. Watching it, felt like none of them wanted to be there. They just wanted to get the game done and get the hell out.
It absolutely was, Mikey. That's what I'm saying. So I agree with what he's saying.
Or smiling. No one didn't look like they were having any fun at all.
Like I said, I agree with what he's saying. Like, yes, every team eventually, like, you have that cooling down period, right? Where you have that one game. But
I'll be right back.
I don't necessarily think this was the reason why. I just think like it was just a game where it's just like, let's just get this over with. You know what I mean? What was your reaction to Groot taking a while to recover the fumble in the end zone? That was an odd play. I think maybe he thought that the play was over, like, because he didn't really react to the ball. It was very, very odd. But he did get back on it. Or no, he didn't get back on it. It was Teron that got back on it. You all right, bud?
Yeah.
All right.
I was just super hot. I had to take off my sweater.
No, you're good. You're good. So I think that so he's asking about the fumble play. I just think he thought for some reason the play was over. Though in football, you're always taught to, no matter what, you get the ball, no matter what, because you never know. Yeah, and I was just really odd.
Did you hear Tron talking about that post game?
No.
He's like, they call him Bambi because sometimes his legs just like don't work the way they're supposed to. It looks like, and that's what it looked like. It looked like he was trying to get back to it.
He did slide, and he just kind of got stuck.
Didn't do what he wanted him to do.
Yeah, maybe so. But either way, we got him. Yeah, so that's the most important thing.
Buffalo literally looked like they were practicing, not even getting. It was a joke. Like they didn't look like they were having any fun at all. Like there was no laughing, smiling. Like Josh usually smiles and has a great time playing football. Yesterday he looked almost annoyed that he was out there.
Yeah, it was odd, man. It was just like I said, man. From the get go, that game seemed flat, just flat, no
Mike,
energy.
You're not wrong there either. Them flexing the game on him, was kind of odd too. Move. Yeah. The whole game was just odd, but we got the W. That's really all that matters. We need to step up and
at the end of the day,
and help our offense in the playoffs. It'll be difficult to get past. I do agree with that. I also would like to see what our defense looks like once our starting secondary comes back. That's the thing that the national media forgets to talk about is how we were missing half of our defense yesterday and against the Lions. So, but it is what it is. Oh my God. Did you hear McDermott called him out finally?
No, I didn't. Finally,
yes.
See, I missed that.
Him about it, and he's like, "No, that was absolutely a smiley mistake. We weren't supposed to be in punt return. We were supposed to be in punt safe mode, and that's a whole different defense. We didn't have the right personnel on the field again."
Wow. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I really don't
understand how he still has a job for as many mistakes as that guy happens. Dorian is special. I'm sorry, but I don't know. Should keep him off the field. He's too explosive and fast. Listen, McDermott said if Milano doesn't bounce back and Dorian's the better play, they're going to play Dorian.
Yeah,
he said it today.
The only thing with Dorian that's not concerning, but he hasn't gotten down yet too good as pass coverage.
Pass coverage.
Yeah, if he can work on that in the offseason, like get that, like really, if he wants to get that and earn that spot from Matt Milano, maybe we move on from Matt Milano, then he could be dynamic. He really could be good because I think he's an excellent run defender. I think he's good at getting to the quarterback. Like he's a high energy guy, could tackle well. He hits hard. Like he's everything you want, but he has to get better at pass coverage, and that's his weak spot. So we'll see. That's up to him, if he can work on that his game.
The defense has been better this year with Dorian in there. Even when Milano coming back, Dorian it's looked better. The defense started taking a nosedive when Dorian left the field. And I love Matt, but he's coming, he's rusty. He hasn't played in 18 months. That's kind of what you expected.
Yeah.
We knew the defense was going to take a hit. What we didn't expect was us to lose, 3/5 of our starting safety or our starting secondary.
Right.
And what that tells me is Hamlin's better than we've given him credit for.
Yeah, he must be, because his safety right now is not looking too good.
Pretty ugly win, but pretty ugly is pretty enough. A win's a win. It's really all that matters.
Absolutely.
I'm with you, Spin. Win's a win. Need Hamlin out there, right?
Right.
Hey, that's the truth. I don't care if we win. I don't care if we win the Super Bowl.
I hope so. It's time to move on. It's been time to move on. I don't know what the holdup is.
I don't either. Stuck with Milano. We stuck with Milano unless we can trade him. No one's trading for that contract.
Nope.
Milano will be back next year.
Not only that, not with his injury history.
Yep. And I believe McDermott has said that he's going to play. They're going to give him every opportunity to be in the lineup come.
And they should. I mean, we'll see like I said, we'll see, man. We'll see how he if he can get back in the swing of things, man.
Oh, that's a great comp. Timmons. He reminds me so much of Timmons. Yeah, that's a great comp. To be fair, Lewis isn't a safety. Lewis isn't big enough to be a safety. He's tiny compared to all those dudes. And that's why he's like when he brings him down to hit guys and he's bouncing off of them. He's a corner, outside, inside.
Yep.
He's not a safety. I mean, it's awesome that he can play safety in a pinch, but we had a chance to bring Micah back last week and we didn't. That's a mistake on the coaches.
All right. Oh.
Beth pressured me into picking the Bills in a blowout, which they never do.
It's a problem with teachers growing up.
We need Rat more. Yeah, getting Rat back will be big. Chiefs doing this ugly win shit all season, right?
They have.
And I will say, outside of a couple national media members, everyone's just like, listen, he won.
Right.
I mean, his MVP odds took a small hit. He went from 700 to 350, but no one's like, oh, Josh isn't the MVP now, outside of a few people who have never been Josh for MVP anyways.
Right.
Cough, Ryan Clark.
Yeah, I don't think you can count count that against him or
RG3, RG3, Ryan Clark, and a few other of them who are all over Lamar.
Mm-hmm. And they are all the time. Whatever. Who cares?
Get Micah and Bishop on the field, see what that looks like. I love Bishop. He's looked out of place and lost. Like TB had to put him in position a few times yesterday. He's just not ready.
Yeah, what's crazy? I haven't done my video yet, the stock up, stock down, but I did take a peek. They gave him a stock up. I haven't really read why.
He wasn't bad.
But I would not have given him a stock up. I would have just not. I wouldn't have given him a stock down
either. He
made it
through the game.
I would have just left him at neutral.
Up. Last week he had to leave the game. He made it through the game. That's a stock up.
Well, I didn't think he played okay. I still think he gets a little bit out of place at times. Gets beaten at times. His tackling's not bad, but but that's a rookie. That's he hasn't seen much action, so that's expected. I get it.
I swear I'm gonna have a heart attack. Allen takes the lead against the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. There's 30 seconds left. I can't deal with the anxiety. That's when you turn off the TV and you walk away and wait for your phone to ding saying you won or lost.
I have to, but it's so tough to watch. I agree. A lot of our, I'll tell you, man, a lot of times it's like that, where I'm just like, God, what could go wrong here?
Yes,
I'm never confident. We got this in the bag, our defense or whatever's going to happen. Cool. I'm always like, what can go wrong? Right? What can go wrong, man?
There has been multiple MVP splits, co-MVPs. I don't think they're gonna say Josh and Lamar co-MVPs because they take record into account. And right now, Lamar has 5, Josh has 3. That's why I think if McDermott just sat everybody and didn't care last 2, he would piss away Josh's MVP.
I agree with that too. Yeah.
You know, Bishop's not ready because he hasn't had the reps.
Well, that's
agree with
what I'm
that.
saying. It's been he hasn't really had the time on the field, and that's why he's still struggling a little bit out there. He needs more time, basically, but he's kind of got pushed in that position, and that's that role actually. Like, so what are you going to do right now? Like, we need a healthy DeMar, we need a healthy Taylor Rapp back, so these guys can get better in the offseason.
That's what everyone's talking about right now. So they did a poll just recently, like Acho, who is an MVP voter, said that exact thing today on the show when they did the poll of who's the MVP through week 16, and 3 of 4 on that show said Josh, one said Lamar. But Acho's the only one who actually has the vote, and Acho said, here's the reason why. You take Josh Allen off the Bills, there may be a 3-win team if you're lucky. You take Lamar off the Ravens, they still have Derrick Henry and that run game, and there's probably still winning 7, 8, 9 games this year.
Right.
So when you look at MVP by the numbers, what MVP means is the most valuable player to their team.
Right.
Josh is the most valuable. It's not who has the best stats or who was the best quarterback. It's who's the most valuable to their team. It's become that. Agree. It's the best quarterback on one of the best teams who's had the best year. Is what it's become. You know. But if you take for what it actually is, Dan Orlovsky's talked about that. You know, Acho's talked about it. Like the people who I know that have the MVP votes have all said the same thing about Josh. Like they looked at it and said that game didn't hurt Josh. They won.
Right.
His numbers weren't great, but they won. You know. And it's funny that people are like, "Well, you say he doesn't have any help, but look at Cook." Now Cook's a weapon because it's a narrative thing.
Right.
Like Cook's like Barkley and Henry to people that want the narrative. I like James Cook. He's had 4 100-yard games this year.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's not nowhere near the caliber of Derrick Henry. He's just not, guys. Like, that's just the fact. So
Marino, that's what they talked about too. They're like, you know, you find that like you could probably give the MVP to one person. You go to the NBA and they talk about the NBA all the time. You know, you could have given the MVP to Michael Jordan every year. You could probably give the MVP to LeBron most years, right? But they always divvy it up. You know what I mean? Like Lamar didn't earn the MVP last year. He was given the MVP last year.
Right.
Because he was the best quarterback on the best team.
Yep.
That's why he got the MVP. His stats were horrible. Like if they would have given Josh the MVP last year, like it probably should have happened because his stats were way better and he was still the 2 seed. Lamar probably would be in the lead for the MVP this year. But there's a narrative piece to this.
Right.
What are we going to do? Give him more reps during the season so Bishop is not in this boat? I don't know what their plan is with Bishop. I just know it's not. They don't plan on playing him this year.
I don't know either. I don't know. I don't know if Hamlin returns next season, so maybe Bishop is the guy for next season. He'll just have to get better during camp. And the thing is, you got to remember Bishop got hurt in camp, so it kind of set him back, right? Set him back, you know, with the one-on-ones with the coaches, all that stuff. So that hurts. That hurts a lot for player development. So if he could stay healthy going into the offseason, I don't think DeMar is back next year. So I think their plan is to have Bishop start. I just think we need him to be healthy during the offseason and camp to get the reps. And then I think you'll see a much better Bishop next season.
Yeah. Speckington says the media last week, Josh locked up the MVP today. The MVP races between Lamar and Goff. What's more likely talked about that. And then I also believe James Jones, who's the one on that one show who had those two. It's just, listen, James Jones also said Josh locked up the MVP last week. So they're national flip-floppers. It's what their show is.
They are. That's why I do not pay attention to national media, bro.
The AP writers are the MVP. Is that right? Yes. Yep. There's one on the Pat McAfee show who it has the MVP vote.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Yeah. The Cowboy.
Oh,
Tone
really?
did.
Is he really?
Tone.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the
Interesting.
MVP. He gets one of ESPN's spots
Oh,
because
wow.
ESPN gets
Okay.
X amount of voters,
Gotcha.
and
Gotcha.
he's doing it for the McAfee show.
Got you. Okay.
Josh, I bet he absolutely did. At this point, where I couldn't care less about the MVP for Josh, idiot vote said right. And I think it's important more to the fans than it is inside the building. I don't know Josh cares as much about MVPs. He doesn't seem like he's that type of guy. You know what I mean? The fans care more about it than he does.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think if he wins it, though, it will be meaningful for him. So don't let that get it twisted. Like I do think it's a meaningful thing, but I don't think it's the end all. Like I don't think it's everything. Even I mean to him, like, but if he wins it for sure, he'll cherish that because it's hard to get.
He'll also go up there and say, "I won this due to my team."
Exactly. Yeah, he'll exactly, and that's
who
how
Josh
is.
Exactly. You know, it's not an individual award for him, like he says with all his awards. It's a team game.
Yeah. Couldn't do this without everybody. Yep, I understand that.
Spend 400 games with. I wasn't shitting on Cook, by the way. Just so you know,
one's ever. I
wasn't. Cook is more dynamic than Henry. You can't give Cook 25 carries. He would wear down.
Right.
Because he's smaller than Henry.
For the most part. Yeah. He's just, they're different.
Yes. Would Derrick Henry fit our offense, Tommy?
I believe so.
The next 2 games we should run the ball. We should run the ball every freaking game. That we're at our best when we start with the run and then we incorporate play action with Josh.
I agree. I do not understand why some games that Joe Brady just totally goes away from it. Like that is such a thing that we've done here in Buffalo for the longest now. Dable and Dorsey and now Brady. Like, bro, it's working. Like honestly, I understood it a little bit more when Dable was around because we didn't have really a good offensive line. Run blocking was atrocious. So I kind of understood why we needed to be a little bit more pass heavy. I got that, I guess. But, bro, we have a decent offensive line now, or a pretty good offensive line. Like, and we can run the ball.
Yeah.
Like, you got to get them more involved in what you've been doing. Like, bro, we have really 3 solid running backs that can all give you something on the field. I just don't understand why he goes away from it. And not only running the ball, Mikey, pass catching as well. It's like sometimes we go to it and then we'll go through a game or two where we just don't use them.
Yeah,
I don't understand it.
Yeah, Mike, where that's the media, those MO, prison of the moment. They have to have content to talk about. That's what they do. Triggs, you're not wrong there either. They so badly would love Burrow or Mahomes to be the Mahomes rival. I don't know why there's so much hate for Josh. I don't get it.
I don't understand either. The dude's like a really good guy on and off the field. Says the right things. He's never in trouble. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's what you want representing the NFL, right? Like they always talk about the shield, protect the shield. I mean, like that guy is the guy that like he doesn't really. Bro,
Mahomes is the same way. Mahomes
too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Jackson, like all those guys are the epitome of what you want as you represent your league.
Exactly.
I don't know if it goes back to his draft thing, and everyone thought he was gonna be a bust, so they just can't.
I think so.
Waiting to say, "Ha." Got him.
I do. I do think that. I definitely think people, even some of the people that maybe have like moved on from that, still have it somewhere stored in their brain where it's like,
I told you it wasn't good.
Yeah, they're still waiting on that moment, right? Where Josh Allen
couldn't win an MVP.
Fail. Yeah, right, exactly.
Cole Bishop was a 2nd-round pick, so Bean McDermott view him as a likely starter when he earns it. I think it'll be very much the same as like Bernard and some of those guys, to where year 2 they becomes a starter.
That's what we're thinking.
He's learning the defense this year. Next year, he'll go through all the offseason stuff, and he'll be ready to probably take over and understand the defense to where they need him to be for, and if he doesn't, It's another blown second round pick. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
He needs
what
to
it
join OJ and Thurman as MVPs. He'll be the first quarterback ever to win the MVP for Buffalo.
Yeah, wild, huh?
Can't believe Jim Kelly never won it.
He was in the mix with a lot of great quarterbacks, though, bro. Like bro.
Right?
I mean, there's a lot of great quarterbacks now, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, God, man, all Hall of Famers, right? Like, if you think about that list of guys, I mean, Warren Moon and Jim Kelly and Steve Young and Joe Montana. I mean, Troy Aikman. It just goes on and on and on. Even the guys that, like Randall Cunningham was pretty damn good, right? Like I mean, it was a lot
Boomer
of
was good.
really Boomer. Yeah, dude, there was a ton of really good to great quarterbacks, man, in that time. All tough dudes, man, too, man. Tough SOBs. So.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Spin. I just want to make sure you knew I wasn't crapping on him because I wasn't crapping on him. But I agree. Yeah, most of his 100-yard games come with 15 or less carries, which is
he's had some big big breakout runs too.
Yeah, I want to see him have 20 carries, 20 touches a game. I don't care if it split him up however you want, carries to catches. I need to see him have 20 to 25 touches a game. He's one of your biggest X factors.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Like I would feel comfortable with at least minimum 18.
Yeah,
I'd be happy with 18 and sprinkle in another 10 for Ray Davis. Like, you know what I mean? It's 8 to 10 rushes for Ray is not terrible. Like, you need to mix it up a little bit more with these guys, But I don't know. I don't know if they'll ever do that, man.
Yeah,
not consistently.
I don't. Sometimes I don't get what we're trying to do. I don't understand what our game plan is, our scheme is. So
I don't know.
But it goes back to what Josh said. Maybe they're holding stuff back. They have an idea of what they want to do once the playoffs hit. And,
I believe that, dude. I really am. Remember a long time ago too. I don't know if it was just off air. I was telling you, I'm like, I wonder if Joe Brady, because I was telling you, I'm like, damn, Joe Brady's offense sometimes seems a little. I wonder if he has like another part of the playbook he's saving, right? Like the more creative, like because he seems like a type that has some creative trickery, and I'm not saying he has to do all trick plays, but you know what I mean. More
we haven't seen any of that stuff.
That's what I'm saying. So I have a weird feeling, and I said it a while ago, like watch him just bust that fucking playbook wide in the playoffs, where we're seeing shit we did not see, right, for most of the season, and we're just like itching to get out there in the playoffs and show that playbook up. So I hope that's the case. That would be pretty damn cool if we got a whole new playbook that none of us seen yet, and we just teams are like, what the fuck is this, right? That would be great.
I think you saw some of it against the Lions.
That's what I'm saying. I think they busted out a little bit of there
against the Chiefs and the Lions.
That was more of a statement. Like I said, I think the Lions game was just pure statement, Mikey.
If we run our offense the way we ran it against the Lions, and that's kind of what we're going to see, because there was so much movement and motion and counter, and like Brady was in his bag. If that's what they're just holding on to, then that's awesome.
Yep.
Marino says our O-line was absolutely destroying the Patriots. Incredible that we didn't run into that much. It is, Shakir also struggled yesterday.
He did. That was his worst game as a Buffalo Bill, and he didn't look like he was having fun. I'm telling you, I just think that was a plain.
Thank you, Mike. Give me that train horn.
Thank you very much.
Merry Christmas to you as well.
I appreciate
Thank you very much.
Man.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.
Yep. Let's go back up here and grab some more of these. Spencer, they probably wanted to try to get Josh some passing yards. Yeah. I mean, that was a bad offense to run to try to get some passing yards. It was vanilla as shit.
It really was.
And say what you want, but the Patriots have a good secondary. Like that is the wrong team to try to run a plain
Jane. Get ready to pay that.
Yeah.
And that dude's going to earn him, bro. He's going to get himself a contract.
And in 2
Christian
years,
Gonzalez, dude.
In 2
bro.
years.
Woo-wee.
Yeah.
Get ready, New England. You better have that.
Yeah.
Have that checkbook ready.
There's all the hit. Yeah, you're not wrong there. It's probably because he got better. Yeah, analytics. You're not wrong. Josh's ability to But you know what? You got to tip your cap to someone is willing to go in and completely rechange his throwing motion, realize what he was doing. Although it got him to the pros, wasn't going to get him to where he wanted to go, and was willing to put in the work.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, Triggs, I don't disagree with that. Also, they crowned the Ravens as the Super Bowl team the second Derrick Henry signed there. I think that's part of it too. Second and one, third and one.
That's pretty cool.
I think Jim was second in MVP voting a bunch. I think he was in MVP voting a bunch of times. He's never actually won it.
That's pretty cool if you're behind your own player.
Yeah.
Like you got to be pretty damn good team.
Undervalues Cook. Cook is better than Barkley or even Henry, but
I never said he's a bum though. I don't know why people think. I never once said James Cook is a bum. I like James Cook.
I think it's because you keep wanting what's his name to take his carries.
No, I don't. I never said he's gonna. I said I thought Ray Davis was gonna get. Yeah, Ray Davis was gonna get carries this year, and take some of them away. But I didn't think he was gonna take. I never once said he deserves to be RB1 or
no.
Like James Cook earned that. He should be, and he is. And
he's
I think
better
James Cook
constantly.
a good season. Yeah, like listen. James Cook is a good running back, but I don't think he'll be here after his rookie deal's done. So,
Thank you, Sophia.
And it's a Festivus miracle. That's from Seinfeld. I love that, sir.
From what?
Seinfeld. Festivus. Yeah.
Spectrum says Vaughn has been great in the run game as well. Vaughn's been really good this year. Like a lot of people were looking like at stats and sacks numbers and like, oh, Vaughn hasn't done nothing. Vaughn's been creating pressure and things like, so I very much agree with you. Alan said the offense was vanilla, didn't want to show anything new. I know, pisses me off. They did it in my fantasy championship, and he lost me the title. That fucker. Bills look like the freaking 89 against the Lions. My God, it was beautiful. The Bills look like they're, and you know what? I have a feeling that's in them whenever they want to go in the bag and get it. I really do. Because I saw it in back-to-back weeks. I saw it against the pieces of it against the Chiefs. Like I have a feeling the Bills offense, when they scheme and they want to do things, and Josh is committed to the underneath throws, they can do whatever the hell they want.
Yep.
I do believe that. Look, Cook's a very good running back, but he's not. Do see play the Ravens a lot differently. Yep, I would agree. I disagree with Tommy. Cook is not a bum. What's the lie that he's not a bum?
No, that I disagree. I never said he was a bum. Never. Oh my God.
I think they'll say he had a better year than Mahomes. I don't think they'll view him as better than Mahomes because they view who's the greatest by the number of championships. I do think if he wins the MVP, gets a Super Bowl and a Super Bowl MVP, that any narrative that he's not on Mahomes' level goes out the window. I just don't think they'll ever crown him as the next GOAT next to Mahomes unless he wins a few.
Yeah, I'm with that too.
But I think that who's one and who's two, I think it'll be Josh and Mahomes in their own categories because they're both MVPs, Super Bowl MVPs, championships, and then the rest of them.
It's true though. If you look at really the history of great quarterbacks, Hall of Fame quarterbacks, let's just bring up Dan Marino. No Super Bowl rings, right? He's not talked about like he's talked about players that have Super Bowls, right? But Dan Marino,
Joe,
but put Dan Marino on some of these teams that were built right. Dan Marino would have Super Bowl rings, man. He was a really good quarterback, like a great quarterback. So I'm just saying, Super Bowls they matter. They absolutely fucking do.
Like say what you want. Rivers, one of the greatest quarterbacks that will go down that never won a Super Bowl. Like the dude never made to the Super Bowl.
That's true, and he was there.
That dude was so good. And he put up all kinds of stats.
I got spam his damn comments.
Now that is a
Make
I'm
it rain.
not making it rain.
Come on, make it rain. Get it going.
Yeah, sure.
Tommy never said he was a bum. He just said James Cook was not.
There you go.
Making him out to be.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Trigg.
but it's easier to say Tommy
Triggs
said
has
he's
my
a bum.
back. Triggs has my back. Thank you, Triggs. You're nice. See, Triggs.
Yeah,
you are a great guy, man. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Merry Christmas, Robert. We appreciate you guys being here. It's Christmas week. We know you could be other places. We appreciate you hanging out. Thank you, Robert. As we're watching this really sorry Monday Night Football game.
Yeah, what's going on here? 24-0 in the third quarter. Saints have
honestly, it's
0.
almost looked like Green Bay's taking their foot off the gas.
Yeah, they really have. 7 in the first, 14 in the second, 3 so far in the third. 7 minutes to go, but this is a ugly game.
Yeah, Dan is one of the most talented throwers of a football ever. And the fact that he doesn't have
I didn't even see his name. I honestly had no. I just
noticed that?
I just noticed it. I'm like, I don't know why, dude.
Marino's like a picture.
Yeah, obviously my name. I'm like, I'm thinking of it. 1 and 1 is 2. I'm okay. So yeah. Bro, listen, I lived in Miami, Marino Legacy, or Florida, South Florida. I got to see that dude play live against our Buffalo Bills multiple games. I used to go to the stadium. My family, Dolphin fans, but I respect the hell out of the guy as far as what he did, bro. He, for me, the best pure passing quarterback ever. I don't care what anyone says. I seen it live. That dude was unreal. But it is what it is. They could never get a complete. They couldn't put a complete team around him. They had no running backs while he was there. It was rough. And the Bills.
Today's NFL. Yeah. Think about if he played in today's NFL. Like he played in a different era.
He played in a different era where you could, rules were different. Kill the quarterback. Rules were, it was, bro, y'all put it this way. Do you remember all the VHS tapes when you go to Blockbuster or wherever? It was like the NFL's biggest hits, the wildest hits. It was like, bro, these are all penalties.
They're all injections, not just penalties. All
you're
injections. Not in today's
heavy
game.
Fines,
and suspensions, and all kinds of crap today.
The NFL wants you to totally forget about those videos.
Yeah, right? They don't ever talk about them.
They don't play them. Yeah, remember when NFL Network a long time ago used to play those at late at night? Like, the wild hits.
Yeah,
they don't play those no more.
The hardest hits from from 1984, and you got guys just going over the middle.
They're fucking helmets and
blocks. The crackback blocks.
My god. Oh, dude. Yeah, different times, bro.
Back in those days, there's a reason why there was a term "head on a swivel." Nowadays, you don't have to do that.
No. Just different.
My problem is no one's saying Cook is an elite top 5 running back. Listen, I love Cook.
He ain't no top 5, bro.
I love Cook. I think he fits what our offense is trying to do really well. I don't agree that as there's a lot of Mafia calling for an extension for Cook. I just don't see us paying a running back.
Yeah, but I will say this, Ben, that's kind of, I should play that again. Now that is a lie because there was people earlier in the season when I would talk about Cook debating if he was a top 5, telling me he's a top 5 running back. He was. I remember it. You guys were going, he was last year. And last year's last year. He ain't a top 5 running back this year. Now, listen, he's having a good season. It's not a knock on James Cook. I think James Cook is running very well. Matter of fact, I think he's running better than he was last year. I do. I think his vision got better. He doesn't have the carries. And that's not his fault. I get it, but I can't give him his top 5 if he's not getting the opportunity. It's just unfair of the other guys that are getting opportunities.
Yeah, I think it has more to do with the amount of talent this team has. They have better backups.
Yeah.
They can share the load. Because you know what? He wasn't super dynamic in the playoffs because he had to carry the load to get there. Like him being healthy in the playoffs will be a big thing for us.
I'll go top 10. You're right, Spin. I'll say top 10.
He's
That's fair.
15th right
That's
now in rushing yards. He has 928
Yeah.
rushing yards. He's going to get to 1,000 again.
Yep,
I do think if he actually got the amount of carries, because he has 182 carries right now.
Okay.
I mean, the only one that's close to him in yards with less carries is Bucky Irving, who has 168.
I like him, man, for Tampa.
You too.
Rookie running back, man.
You know, everyone, Rico Dowdle has 190, so he has more carries and less yards. But I think he could be in the top 10 in rushing if he got the carries he needed. He could probably be close to 5 because the way we run the ball.
That's fair. Yep.
Because our offensive line is really good.
Yep. That's fair.
Don't give him those carries. Like, you know, Saquon 314, Derek 278, Kyron 303, Bijan 259. So all these guys have like almost 100 more carries than him. The only one that's close to him that has a lot more yards is Gibbs. Gibbs has 209. He has 182. Gibbs has 1,150 yards and he has 930 yards.
Okay. So I want to.
Gibbs is a better version of Cook. What's your thoughts?
Yeah.
You're doing
I just
something.
want to look something up while you're. Sorry, let me just look something.
No, it's all good.
While you're talking.
Just got here late. Want to say Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, T-Dobbs. Thank you for hopping in to say Merry Christmas. We appreciate you. Kelly, I remember when the Bears
so
on live TV.
All right. So how many carries does Cook have right now? Because I want to compare something. 182. Okay. With 2 games left, right?
5.1 a carry.
Okay, with 2 games left, right?
Yep.
So I'm gonna throw something out here at you. Here we go. Devin Singletary in 2021 had 188 carries. You know how many yards he had?
How many?
870.
Okay.
Not bad. I'm just saying, like, we're talking about carries, right? That's not a lot of carries. 870, and people were shitting on him and saying he's bad. I'm just throwing that out there. Now in 2022, he had 177 carries for 819. Devin Singletary.
Oh.
So I'm saying, aren't those numbers to James Cook very close, considering the carries?
819?
819 and 870. Now, remember the 819 was 177. How many is James Cook up to right now?
182. So Cook is averaging about a half yard more per carry right now than he was back then.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't think Devin Singletary was a bad running back when he was. I
didn't either. But my point is that so we're saying James Cook is a top 10, right? With running, the numbers are with the carries because we're comparing carries to he would do better. So what if Devin Singletary had more carries? Do you think he would be a rate? Would have been considered top 10? You think he would have had 1,000 yards?
I think they're a different type of player. I think.
But what do you even have 1,000
yards?
The eye
test tells you as well.
Would he have had 1,000? Would he had 1,000? If he
would have more carries, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I thought he was a really good back though.
Yeah.
But when you look at eye test, because eye test comes into play here, not just stats.
He is better than Devin Singletary. I admit that. But
he has a game breaking ability that Singletary didn't have.
Is that he didn't have that
between the tackles, speed. Singletary's a better runner. Between the tackles.
I think he's more elusive as well. For the first
in the phone book, yeah. What Singletary doesn't
have
is that game breaking ability that
he never had. Yeah, that's the problem. Yep. And he wasn't as good as a pass catcher as James Cook out the backfield. Yeah. He got better, but he got better at absolutely way better. And he got better as it went on. But I'm just comparing the numbers. I'm just saying, because I know a lot of you guys want to compare. Oh, well, James Cook doesn't have it. I'm just throwing that out there that they're not that off as far as rushing. Now, James Cook, by the way, in 2023 for Houston had 216 for 900 yards. So still not terrible. You know what I mean? I'm just throwing that out there. So we're comparing Cook to Singletary running wise. Numbers on average pretty close.
But you know what? Singletary hasn't been that since he left.
No, I know that, but he had a good run there for a little while.
I do believe both of them, are benefit of Josh.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Josh's ability.
But Houston, he ran for 9.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. Okay, so he had a little 3-year run there where he almost had 1,000.
But how many carries did he have in Houston?
216. I'm sorry, 216. So he had a little bit more. about 30 more carries, right? 40 more carries, whatever that number is. So yeah.
So ultimately, Cook will get over the 1,000 yards. I think he's probably a top 10, 10, 12
I would say top
back,
10 is
whatever.
fair.
That's fine.
Yeah, I would say that's fair. More.
I do also think that you just talked about it. When Singletary is here, he was putting up similar numbers. It just didn't have the long breakaway touchdowns.
He didn't have. Can you imagine if he did? If he had that breakaway speed,
he would have been in the Saquon, those type of.
He was missing
molds.
That's where he was missing.
Yeah,
he didn't have it
because
he never had it.
He would always make the first guy miss. Always.
Yes, and even on plays where he had like a 25-yard run, he'd always get caught up, or 30. You know what I mean? Like players would always catch him.
Dan, you're right. He would not look good with a subpar line.
No, that's true.
He's a benefit of his offensive line, but his skill set matches what Buffalo's doing today.
I agree with that. Yep, 100%.
Because I don't think Singletary had a good offensive line when he was here at all. A lot of the yards he made himself. Can't we just agree James has benefited from growth? Yeah, I think we can. I think Josh Allen's benefited from a great O-line this year too.
Okay, but Spin, you also know Singletary averaged 5.5 his rookie year. We're gonna go nitpick on like who's. I'm just saying, very similar, very very similar. They're not that. I'm telling you
that half
off.
Yard per carry also going to be due to the offensive lines.
Exactly. So you want to compare. So just for instance, Mikey, 2019, 2020, 2021, the offensive line. Let's be honest, guys, it stunk for run blocking. It was terrible. Don't get it twisted. You want to compare James Cook in 2023 when he got the job and this year, our offensive line is way better. It's not even close. So, of course, he's going to benefit and average is going to go up. But 5.1 is not bad in 2019. 4.4, 4.6, 4.6. I'm just saying, with that offensive line, not too bad. Not bad at all. So say what you want, but we also didn't have the offensive line we do now for Cook. Cook benefited big time from this offensive line building up the way it has been. And look at the other running backs. They also get pretty good chunks at times when this offensive line does their job. So we didn't have Osiris Torrance, who's a fucking beast. Right? He was not around. Spencer Brown wasn't Spencer Brown, right? We're way different on that line. So you have to also understand Cook is benefiting.
I think this
big
is
time.
The best way to put it.
Yeah.
Cook changes the way his breakaway speed changes the way defense play us. With Singletary, it didn't.
Oh, Roy, you're great.
Are you down farther than me?
Yeah, that was the only thing. That was his thing. He didn't have the second year.
Brian
Winters. Oh yeah, the one he's talking about, Brian Winters.
And
terrible.
Spain and
forgot about
every other, Ryan Bates.
You want me to take it down memory lane, guys, on how terrible the offensive line was?
Yeah, he is a natural long tackle breaker, but it's why we drafted him and we wanted him and Singletary together because Singletary was that make you miss guy, and then we wanted that extra layer of the long speed.
Exactly.
And Cook has grown into that. Like when Cook first came out, he wasn't that.
No, and that's why he wasn't the starter either.
Yeah,
he sat behind
Cook.
Singletary.
You got to give him credit as well that he has gotten better and better, and he's gotten stronger. His contact balance is so much better this year than it was last year.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Totally agree with that.
Yeah. And I think he's always been fast, Sophia. I think his contact balance is just different this year than it was last year. We didn't see a ton of those super long runs because when someone would grab a hold, like when they grabbed his dreads back in the day, they would have pulled him backwards.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have ran through that.
He's definitely gotten,
he's using a stiff arm to break away from people. Like those things didn't happen last year.
No.
If the Chiefs win, do you sit Josh? No. We still have to get the 2 seed. Singletary 100, Sam's equals 460 yards. Cook equals 510 yards.
I mean, okay, it's not. That's fine. It's not that different. It's not that crazy different. I was just throwing out.
How did we end up the Singletary versus Cook debate?
Oh, because somebody was just writing about the Cook thing, and we just got on this Cook rabbit hole. We haven't even gone the good, bad, and ugly yet. Listen, we go with the chat, baby. The chat is what
Like, listen,
Takes us down all these
everyone watched
rabbit holes.
yesterday. Most of it was bad and ugly. There was very little good yesterday.
Yeah.
So, like, if we don't get to the good, bad, and ugly, it's not a huge
That's
deal. So
fine,
it wasn't
yeah,
that
yeah.
much to look at.
There was some bad and ugly. There wasn't a lot of good.
There
Cook
wasn't
was
a lot of
good.
good.
Speaking of Cook,
Cook was good.
right?
Listen, let's
Okay.
just do good, bad, and ugly right now. We'll just.
You want to do it now? All right, let me because we
Right
always
now,
got to
do it.
cue it up.
The good. The bad. The ugly.
You know, and a lot of it was neutral. So let's hit the good. We'll talk about the
All
good.
right.
James Cook was really good yesterday. You know, our offensive line, you know, run game and pass game was really good yesterday.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, on the defensive side, I thought our defensive line played really well. We just got beat by a athletic quarterback a few times.
Yeah.
You know, Groot blowing things up. You know, Vaughn putting pressure. AJ getting his hands in the lane. Smoot run defense. I thought our defensive tackles. I thought Jordan Phillips was good yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that kind of ends where I thought, oh, Bass nailed the 50.
Yeah, you're right.
made his
Yeah,
extra
which was an
points. He was
important kick.
good.
We won by
Yep.
3.
Yep.
So,
Yep, nailed the 50.
gotta give him that.
You know, gotta call him out. And then I thought Martin
Yep.
was pretty good yesterday as well too. The bad, the game plans. I thought the game plans were bad. I didn't like them.
Yep. I did not like
didn't
him
like
at
him.
all either.
Our defensive tackles, like, you know, where'd Ed Oliver go? You know,
No show.
We were getting run on constantly.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
I thought our secondary was bad yesterday.
Yep.
Everyone except Benford, because they didn't throw it on his side. Everyone else struggled yesterday. Bad.
They did. Yep.
Elam, and I thought Bishop was okay, but
Yeah,
Lewis was bad.
he has moments.
Tron
Yep.
struggled again without having all his guys back there. You know, Balin Spector was bad. You might borderline put him with ugly.
Oof, man.
You know, Balin was really bad. On the offensive side, our receivers. What the hell happened to our receivers yesterday? Dropping balls.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah,
Not getting
and especially
separation.
Shakir, yeah, Kean, like nobody looked good yesterday.
They ran man on like 60-something% of their plays, and we were running crossers, and they were undercutting dudes.
And
So it looked like they weren't even running. Yeah, but
Allen had
nobody was
time,
open.
and normally nobody got open. Like nobody. That's why he was forcing a lot.
Yeah,
because he eventually had to let the ball go. Right, you have to try to make and nothing. And the plays
he wasn't running. And they had a mandate not to run because he didn't start running until the second half when he had to.
Yep.
And then the ugly. Where do we start? The ugly, the penalties. The penalties are ugly.
Yeah.
You know, pre-snap penalties reared their ugly heads again. Our special teams coach, ugly. We allowed a fake punt.
I know.
With the
run right up the middle.
Sean McDermott admitted we had the wrong personnel on the field again.
Right. Again, guys.
You know, but you know, I don't know. I don't even know where to go with that. But that's my good, bad, and ugly. Like,
nice.
I'm prison Mike.
Add more stuff that you guys want in there. But holy fuck, like I said, very few good. There was a lot of neutral, and then there was a lot of bad and a lot of ugly.
Boom. Roasted.
Good job, Mikey. Good job.
Okay, let's get back to the chat now. So we got that out of the way. You know, it wasn't one I was looking forward to doing. Honestly, it really wasn't.
We always have to get that out of the way. All right.
Alex Anderson's going to push David Edwards next year. The dude looks like a future All-Pro. I'm extremely high on Anderson. I'll be interested if Anderson ever actually gets a starting role or if they go out and draft somebody. I like Alec Anderson, but they love him in that role, like Ryan Bates' role, where he plays a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Barkley. Okay, benefit from the quarterbacks too. They do, absolutely, they do.
Yeah,
you know? But I've also seen Henry do it without a quarterback, and I've seen Barkley do it without a quarterback.
Exactly, and you could say the quarterbacks benefit from them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just throwing that out there. Like, they
I would
are
say
game-changing running backs.
They're so good because they benefit from their quarterbacks. But I've seen them both do it without a quarterback.
No,
and
but they
still-
can do. But I've seen them both take over without having the need of a good quarterback. So,
Yeah.
and they do absolutely help. Of course, they help.
Okay, we're kind of off the whole Singletary versus Cook debate.
I
I'm shitting.
wasn't even a debate. I was just throwing the numbers out there because very similar.
I've seen a Prime Shady put up great numbers with subpar line. Saquon Barkley, etc. Those guys are great. Yeah, I've seen it too.
Yes,
Barry Sanders.
That's what I'm. Yes,
Barry Sanders
is the terrible offensive line. Why do you think he has? I think he has the most negative yards or something like that, like loss of yards, because he was always in trouble fighting and trying to get something out of nothing. But that's what made him special, man. He was awesome.
Mikey Nick Saban said James Cook scared the crap out of him trying the game. Yeah, that is high praise. But that's why we also drafted him, because the whole point was we drafted him because he was also a receiver in college.
Exactly.
He's running receiver. We don't use him like that at all.
We don't.
But we also have problems with him trying to catch the ball at times.
Yeah, he has had some issues. Yep.
Cook reminds me of Alvin Kamara. Yeah, I would say that. Except I think Alvin Kamara has bigger legs and runs between the tackles.
Alvin Kamara, I think, is a little bit more stronger than a little bit
Although
more powerful.
it doesn't mean Cook can't get there.
No, I get that, but he needs to, I think, work on his lower body to get there. But we'll see.
Tommy is a Cook hater.
I guess. I don't think so.
Bass was good.
Yeah, Cook did catch touchdown passes. He has a couple this year. Cook had a good game. He was our bright spot of Sunday.
He was one of the reasons why we won. He had both touchdowns.
Absolutely. Put up 14 points.
By the way, did you know he's 2 touchdowns away from breaking OJ's touchdown record?
No, I didn't know. And he might get it. He may get it.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Ray Davis has good contact balance. Yeah, I do agree with that too. The way Cook can't complain about Davis not getting more touches.
Yeah, but you need to mix it up though. You have
they do it with Ty Johnson. They don't do it with Cook.
Exactly. Which, see, here's the deal, man. I think Ray Davis is more of the power back. He's more of the guy that you want running between the tackles. He's more the guy that you want softening up the defensive line. That's why you have a second back that's a bigger back. Most teams do. You weaken up, you soften that defensive line, you make them pay for every tackle. We don't really do that. And I wish we would. I'm not saying Ray Davis needs a shit ton of carries, but it would be nice if they mix him in the offensive scheme. At times, I just don't understand. We don't even use them in the goal line. We don't even use them in red zone. And I will say this: the times we have, he scored touchdowns.
Yeah,
he scores touchdowns
too.
We
use Josh in the goal line.
No, but I'm saying even in the red zone, he's had some plays where he even passing touchdowns.
Yeah,
that he's called. So he's good in the red zone too. It's not just James Cook is the only one that score. He just brings a different dynamic, different thing to the game.
All three of them. We're blessed with three.
I think they're all different in what they do. Yeah, and that's what makes them all special. I think they all you give something different to the run game.
Yeah, special teams was good for the players that can't be affected by the coach.
Yeah.
God, he's trash. Game plans were trash. The game plans were ugly.
Yeah, they were bad.
Special teams execution was bad. Exclude Bass and Martin, because Martin kicked pretty well yesterday too. His punts were good. It was weird, bitter, yet moist, cold. Yeah. It was just, it was odd. And then listen to Josh talk about it, because Josh doesn't usually say things like that.
He's been a little bit more vocal.
He got very
this
candid
year.
yesterday.
Have you noticed that? He did. I think he's been I think this year he's been a little bit more vocal. I really do. I think he's, I don't know if he's getting fed up or anything like that, but I think he's definitely taking
for the team. He's the team.
Yeah, he's taking charge a little bit as far as not holding back so much.
Well, it's his team.
I still think
knows
there's a lot.
It's his team.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody, who made a great point the other day on our show, not on our show, but on our channel, on Mafia Talk, they had, I forget his name, but he was talking about McDermott thing and everything. He's like, what? It's crazy. He's like, and I never really thought about it like that, but it's true. He's like, when players come to Buffalo, like free agents, they don't say they're coming to play like they came to play for McDermott. They all say they came to play for Josh Allen.
They do.
So he's like, yeah. So he's like, what really? He's like, so do you really think your coach is like, that's why players like they all really want to play for Sean McDermott's this great head coach? Like, and I know I'm not trying to get on the McDermott thing, but I just wanted to bring that up because it really is a good point. I never really thought about that, but it's true. If you go back to most, I mean, honestly, I don't recall a free agent assigning. They're like, man, I really I signed here to play for Sean McDermott. Like they all say, Josh Allen. So, I mean, let's be real. Josh Allen's the real leader of the team.
Yeah.
And the real reason players want to come
I
here.
came because of Josh, you know?
Yes.
You had Matt Collins. I came because of Josh. You had guys last year says I come because of Josh. Like defensive guys come here because of Josh. You know,
yes.
I mean,
you're right. And they're defensive guys. They're like offensive guys.
Right.
So I guess that's where my point was going is like, I listen, man, like I like Sean McDermott, but guys, if we can't get it done, I mean, there has to be eventually, and I think Josh eventually will maybe throw more hints out there now that he's being maybe a little bit more like vocal. We'll find out because I think he's going to eventually grow old of not getting kicked out of the playoffs. Yeah, not getting it done.
And if it being the defense's fault because of the scheme, not the players.
Yes.
He'll get older.
So I really, Mikey, what I'm hoping for, and I'm really praying, is this offense is just electric in the playoffs, and we don't even have to worry about anything.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Unstoppable.
Hey, Beth, yeah. I'm glad you've been here. Glad you've been here. Listen to me and Tommy just ramble on nonsense for an hour and 30.
It really has been nonsense.
Just tuned in talking about Cook, right? Oh God, you shut up for the Cook conversation.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
We had a 35-minute talk about Devin Singletary, James Cook, and Kamara.
You know, well, Cook scored a TD, 2 of them because he
two of them, running and passing. Absolutely, he was our best player yesterday.
Right? Yeah. Did you hear Dan Orlovsky? I don't know if you listen to him much, but he's like, listen, that was as good of a punt as you could have had.
That's a 1, right? Down, which, by the way, we did nothing with.
Yeah. I don't know. Listen, didn't I tell you we were being positive today?
Sorry. You would think we would have done something with that field position there. Of course not.
I see shades of Barry Sanders and Ray Davis. Sanders, I don't see that.
No.
I don't see that.
No. Though I like Ray Davis, but Barry Sanders, there's no one like him ever. I'm sorry. Ever. He was unique.
He was. There was reports out there that we signed Moreau back.
I heard
but there's been no corresponding moves that have been announced yet.
Yeah.
Because they said we signed him to the active roster. That means someone has to be released.
Ooh. Wow.
Or put on IR.
I didn't get a notification. I didn't see nothing either.
No, there was just reports. So
but I'm saying, yeah.
I wonder if it'll show up like tomorrow, like officially, everything will go through.
That's true. Once they work everything out. Yep.
I think they just probably got word from Moreau that he's on his way back to Buffalo. He's going to be re-signing to the active roster and going from there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Tommy starting that Fire McDermott campaign again.
My secretly, hey, did you notice?
Yeah. Coleman in college was saying he couldn't wait to play with Josh. There was AD who said he couldn't wait. Like there was a bunch of those guys in college coming out saying I would love to play with Josh.
Right.
Is Josh
Allen right.
Was the Michael Jordan on the Bulls.
Absolutely.
And we're just waiting for the Phil Jackson to show up.
Right.
And
that's all we need.
And that could be
or the Pat Riley. Give us Pat Riley. Do you remember, Mikey? And I'm not like this big Heat fan, but do you remember when they had Stan Van? Was it Stan Van?
No, Stan Van came after.
Right, the younger brother, the heavier brother. He was coaching the Heat.
He came after the Pat Riley thing.
No, he didn't. He was coaching at the time. They fired him. Pat Riley took over, and Pat Riley won. This is when they had Shaq still. So it was Shaq and Dwayne Wade. Yes. And then he stepped down and gave it to Spoelstra, And then that's when they went and got LeBron and all them.
I thought Stan Van Gundy won one.
No. He got them to the playoffs, remember?
Yeah.
But they lost to the, you know why I know? Because they lost to the Pistons the year before, and then he fired them, took over, and they won the fucking championship. So I'm just saying, like, but bro, he was such a good head coach. But my point is, Stan Van Gundy was a good coach. He just couldn't get the job done.
Yeah.
And it took a better coach to come in and go, I'll take care of it now. Thank you very much.
Let me hit this real quick.
Yeah, you know it.
I queued the clip. Also, you can look at the Mark Jackson, Steve Kerr thing.
Absolutely. That's another great example. There's more examples of that, but I was just throwing one out there. But yeah, it's been done a lot of times, guys.
Yeah, it is what it
in
is.
College football too, by the way. There's been great really good coaches fired.
Similar to Allen, and Ellie didn't win one until he got Shanahan late in his career. Yeah, I'm hoping we don't have to wait late in Josh's career.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
You know, like he has the talent to do it now. Let's win it now, not wait.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Singletary's more like Sanders than Davis. Singletary's
he was more on the cut, but he didn't have he wasn't as physical and he wasn't as fast.
The closest I've ever seen to Barry Sanders was the little Darren Sproles.
Sproles was really good too. Yeah, he had that.
Darren Sproles was the closest I've ever seen to Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
The way he would move, like very few guys I've ever seen. You know, go forward, stop on a dime, go back 3 yards.
But
go
Coy
left,
could stop
go
on
right
a dime. But you know what? It was different with Barry though. His legs he was so powerful, bro.
Like his legs would go one way and his body's going the other.
But I mean, his body, his frame. I'm saying he was so, bro. He was tough. Like you could not just take him down.
Than most people's bodies.
Yes, like he was just different, guys. Like he was different. And remember, he played with Thurman Thomas at Oklahoma.
Yeah, he backed up Thurman.
He backed up Thurman. Yes,
but
and then he took over
go back to that
when Thurman left.
Yeah. If you go back to that 0-1 Miami team, where they had Portis and Gore and McGahee. McGahee was playing fullback because he couldn't get on the field.
Dude, that
0-1 Hurricanes team may be the greatest one that's ever.
No, it's
college team
ever.
Without Hall of Famers on that.
Matter of fact, you go back in time, all those early 2000 Hurricanes. I think we had like the most first round picks like ever.
62. 62 players drafted off those teams.
It was wild, dude. It was just unbelievable.
Joe Brady's probably Phil Jackson. That's what I'm feeling. I'll be sad if he gets pulled away somewhere else. You know, who are we cutting for Moreau?
I don't know.
They said Spector was day to day, so I don't know who they're gonna.
No, I heard week to week. Did they say day to day? I thought he said week to week.
I thought it was day to day.
Okay, I could swear he said week to week. I could be wrong, but why not put him on IR? And just it is what it is, man.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. There's your spot.
No, I didn't. Sure, what he
I didn't hear
was saying about Wentz. No, I didn't hear anything.
Let us know, Triggs.
Oh, this blasphemy Barry Sanders -8 tackles. And no one like that today. No one's like him today.
No, Barry was to me the best running back ever. I don't care what anyone says.
I would love to say good, but I just don't believe McDermott will do it. He is stubborn.
Yeah.
He would much rather suit up a aging veteran Kareem Jackson over Micah Hyde. I don't get it.
Nope.
Oh man, the 0-1 Hurricane team was silly good. They were silly good. You know, Cole Bishop flashed yesterday. Excited to see him get more run. I just don't think he's gonna. I think the guys are gonna be back next week because McDermott was pissed about how we played defense this week. I bet you all three of them come back next week. Can McDermott get the job done with the defense that was equal to the offense? I think they need to draft 90% defense player next spring. But the problem is we do draft mostly defensive guys, and they don't always work out.
Yeah,
you know, that's part of the problem. I think they need to draft defensive line heavily this next year.
I agree.
There's some young guys in there.
I totally agree.
Stop.
And I agree with you,
on
Marino's legacy. That's how I feel. I don't hate the guy at all. I just feel like I just don't.
I fear the Schottenheimers and
that's exactly
the Marvin Lewis's and
yep.
The Chuck Knowles and Chuck Knoll was a fantastic head coach. He just never won the big one.
Right. Yeah. Guys that were just good enough to.
McDermott's really good. I'm afraid he's not going to be able to win the big one.
All right.
Oh, yeah, stat correction for Mikey. Thurman Thomas led the Bills in rushing TDs, not OJ. They said single season. OJ's single season. For stat correction.
No, okay.
Sean was a playoff every year and always got tight. Yep.
Yeah. But you know what? A lot of coaches get that. A lot of coaches have that issue. I don't know what it is. And all sports, by the way. Basketball, baseball, there's certain coaches that just under pressure, they coach different. It's so odd. They just they buckle under pressure. Flip Saunders, I mentioned him, rest in peace. Bro, that guy was always getting Minnesota to the playoffs. Always. They were a good team, but they failed every playoff run. He goes to Detroit. Same thing.
Saunders who was the one with the Suns that did it all the time too? Was that Saunders?
Flip Saunders had a son that coached.
No, with the Phoenix Suns.
Oh,
there was a Phoenix Suns head coach that always got him there, just can never get over the hump too. Was that Flip?
No, Flip was in Minnesota forever, and then he coached Detroit. I don't think it was Phoenix. You're talking about George Karl, maybe?
No.
Didn't he coach? I forget.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, look it up. I know Karl. Did Karl ever win one? Because he was also a good coach that could never, I don't think, ever won a championship. I could be wrong on that. And in Sacramento, remember they had I don't know whose coach that was, but they also had
Rick Adelman.
Yep. Let's get to some of these questions. Resign Cooper and focus. I would definitely resign Cooper for at least 2 or 3 more years. Tommy, you doing live stream next? No, Callie. But Callie, I was thinking about doing live streaming the games tomorrow. I probably will do. Oh yeah, Mike D'Antoni. Yep. I probably will do that, Callie, tomorrow. Just a heads up. So if you're interested, I'll probably be live for the Christmas game. Remember I was talking? Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. You're
okay.
So yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
I just want one true superstar on defense that changes games. Holmes, Chris Jones, Burrow, Trey Hendrickson, Lamar, Kyle Hamilton, and 5 others.
We don't have it. We talked about that.
We might be able to go sign that. We might be able to go sign that in this offseason. There's a guy.
Remember we talked about that? We just don't have that one superstar on defense.
We're hoping Groot grows into that, but
it's not consistent enough. Superstar. Yeah, it's a game changer.
Miles Whisper his name. He might be out there next year.
Yep.
I have a weird feeling, Carl, that he's not going to see the field either, and it's going to.
You might be right.
Off.
Mm-hmm.
Stat correction for spin. Shut your mouth. That's not what I said. I was talking about
Jerry Sloan. Yes, Utah.
Jerry Sloan's another one.
Yes, that's a great. Did he never won one either? Wow, that's wild. Jerry Sloan was there, bro. He was there forever.
Resign Hollins as well. I would like to see us resign Cooper, and I'd like to see us bring back the wide receiver core. I like our wide receiver core.
I do. I wouldn't mind Mac, bro. Honestly, yeah, I would not mind him back for another year or 2 either.
Yeah,
and he would be a cheap signing. I don't even think it's not even a big deal to bring him back.
Yeah, high pressures, low sacks. I'd like to see, but I think that's a scheme thing. The low sacks, high pressures is definitely, but the way McDermott runs his scheme is always low sacks.
I think
People
so too.
Go away and they get a bunch of sacks.
They do. Yep.
I know this sounds terrible, but Dick Duran had Josh Allen. Do you guys think he would have been that different?
Great question. So here's
you know who I think would have been different? The year that we had Mario and Kyle and Zoe and that defense, they would have had Josh Allen on the other side. Who was the head coach of that one? Was it
the guy that quit? The guy that quit on us?
Yeah.
Doug?
Yeah, Doug Marone. If they would have had Josh, that defense
he went to Jacksonville and failed miserably, but yes. Yeah.
I think that team could have gone over the hump because that defense was so good.
It was electric. But I'll be honest with you, and it's not a knock on McDermott, but I think almost any coach listen, when you got a player like Josh Allen, it's like having a player like Michael Jordan or having a really big time all-star. You're going to win games. Like you have the roster, and you have one of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL playing on your team. You're going to win some games. And I'm not saying that guy's going to come in and win a Super Bowl. I'm just saying, even if we got the wrong guy that come in here, he'll probably get us to the playoffs. And maybe we get bounced, and maybe it's not the right guy, and we get bounced again the following year. But it's the same thing we're doing now. So what's the difference? We need to find a guy that can get us over the hump. We hope it could be McDermott.
If he doesn't do it,
we're praying. But I think, like I said, the only way that happens, Mikey, I truly believe that at least this season, because McDermott's going to be here for a while, but we're talking about this season, like I said, the offense has to be pretty much perfect and go ham, and Allen has to be on another level, bro.
Yep.
Of greatness.
I'll tell you right now, the only way McDermott leaves here is if Allen gets fed up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he secretly somehow has a low-key meeting with Brandon Beane and the owner.
I can't do this anymore.
I can't keep doing. Yeah, exactly.
Or he's not willing to resign after his contract's up because he doesn't trust McDermott can get it done.
Yep.
That's the only way it's happening.
I agree, because you don't want to lose. You don't want to let that guy out the door. Are you really going to risk it?
Nope.
Exactly.
Nope. People feared that the early 90s Bills offense. Then you had Bruce Smith and a few other Hall of Famers.
Now you see that team they had the superstar on both sides of the ball. They had game record.
They had Jim and they had Bruce.
Yep. And then you could really go Thurman Thomas and
Tally.
I mean, yes, and Tally, and you can go a lot. I mean, really, Andre Reed was a superstar. I mean,
Cornelius Bennett.
Yeah.
Those
that
teams
was
were
stacked. That was
a lot of Hall of Famers coming off that team.
A ton. That team was stacked, dude.
Spent free agency, signed Cooper, Hollis, Ty Johnson, Anderson, Vandenmark, Ferguson, Gilliam.
I wouldn't care about Gilliam if he's back or not.
And then all defense and draft. Listen, I think we're gonna sign. RVD is basically going to be a restricted free agent, so he's going to come back. Same with Anderson. It's not going to cost very much. I do think Ty Johnson comes back because he's used here and he likes that. I can see both of these guys coming back. Cooper's going to come down to what he wants. And is he going to be upset that he wasn't more of a focus here? He seems to be really happy here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So maybe, like he said, he's waited his whole career to play for a team like this. So maybe the targets don't bother him as much, and he wants to come back because he likes the team aspect of it.
Right.
I think all these guys could be back next year. I really do.
Yeah, I don't think Gilliam though, and I wouldn't even care if he is or not. He really doesn't. Yeah. Special teams, I guess, but our special teams stink. So what's the difference?
I do think
we don't even use them right.
I do think we should take a receiver. I think we should take a receiver every freaking year.
Absolutely. And to be honest with you, we're still looking for that, really speed,
the alpha.
Yeah.
The speed guy, the Troy Franklin we could have had this year.
That's what I'm saying. We have guys with speed. Don't get me wrong, but I'm talking about just stretch the field, just nasty, boom. You know what I mean? We don't have that. We really don't.
I don't disagree with you, but I'm saying that's the only way you're going to get rid of McDermott. Is if Allen goes there and says, I'm not.
I agree. Yeah.
Allen grew up, you get what you get and you don't complain. That's kind of how he grew up on the farm.
Yeah.
Allen will take it like, I need to be better, whether he was good or not.
But I'll say this, and like you said, but how many more playoffs losses where he looks just devastated and that look he gives that he can handle? You get what I'm saying? Because it will grow heavy on you after a while. 1 year, first year, fine. Second year, fine. Third year, fine. But fourth year, okay. Dude, eventually,
Josh.
That's what I'm saying. Eventually, it's going to be to the point where it's like, all right, we're on 7 now. We're on 8. I can't do what's going on? Eventually it will grow tiring and he's going to eventually snap or break, or he may not do it publicly, but he's going to want to change.
And
he
that
has
could
to.
be
He's the leader.
He's gonna want out the door.
He's gonna want if that doesn't happen. Because
something doesn't change, he's gonna
I'll
want
tell
out
you
the door.
this. I'll tell you this about Josh. He said he was upset with Ken Dorsey left. He felt it was, they all love Ken Dorsey, but was he really?
Right. I think
You know what I mean?
I think he was
Like, I'm
upset that the experiment failed, and
I get it,
but he loved you to ask him
But how
about life
quick-
before, and
yes.
life after Dorsey was.
But how quick was he to change once things got clicking and Joe Brady, and he was like, okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so imagine, I'm sure he'd say the same if McDermott ever went. Like, oh, I wish we could have won one for him. Man, I love that dude. Like, he was here, blah, 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 blah. But imagine the next coach comes in, they win a Super Bowl. Bro. He'll forget all about that, and he'll move on, and he'll be happy. Anyway,
but I love Keon Coleman too, but McConkey looks like a true stud. McConkey also plays the same position that Shakir plays. That's why we went with Coleman, a different body type, because we already have our McConkey and Shakir.
Yeah.
You can't have a bunch of guys that do the same thing. Eric Cooper is supposed to be very close to 10,000 career yards. I hope he gets it. I hope he gets it too. I'm hoping to upgrade talent on the boundary. I like our guys just to be freaking healthy.
Yeah.
Guys are just now coming back. But at that point, Josh will keep shouldering the blame. That's what he always does.
Until he gets tired of it, though. I think a lot of people eventually are like that. There's some people like that, but eventually they snap, and eventually they know there has to be a change. And maybe
I think my biggest concern about that, the way you're explaining it, is Josh decides he wants to leave versus
rather than throw anybody under the bus and get him fired. It's possible, but maybe I will say this too. Maybe Brandon Beane or Pagula gets it.
Steps in before.
Yeah, before that and goes, man, Josh, maybe they read his body language. You know what I mean? Because Josh Allen, he does show a lot of body language when he's not happy, when things aren't. Maybe they go, man, Jesus, we're year 9 and another playoff loss. Look at Josh. He's just whatever on the sideline or in the locker room or post game. We have to make a change. You know what I mean? And it's very possible that comes to the McDermott run here comes to an end if that keeps happening. So we'll see.
Spin, I'm with you. We just need McDermott to, next adjustment to be his defensive scheme. Listen, if he comes out and does the shit that he did against Detroit, where he started running, double corner blitzes, and like McDermott can get creative. He got a head coaching job because of how good his defense was.
Yeah.
So I just need him to do that in the playoffs. Get creative, scheme shit up, stop them. Media says Josh can't win in the playoffs when it's not his fault. We lose to KC in the playoffs. When is it McDermott and those lack of first-class defensive squad? And the crazy part is we've had top defenses, number 1 ranked defenses, and it fails in the playoffs because they get too conservative. It's the scheme gets too conservative. Yep. They're all trying to be perfect, and you can't do that. Just go out and play. Like if they go out and do what they did against, the Lions, where they run, creative blitzes and attacks, different things that we don't normally do. That's what's going to win in the playoffs.
Yep.
You have to be willing to go against what your tendencies are. As this is the worst defense in the McDermott era. It is the worst defense in the McDermott era.
I would agree with that. Yeah, this has been it's been tough. I don't think it's terrible, but it's been.
We need Josh to play above the defense and to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think we all know that.
Yep.
But the good thing is we've seen this offense do it. We know it's capable of doing it.
That's why I'm not overly super concerned about when heading into the playoffs. But I also know that our offense has to be almost close to perfect. And Allen needs to be an absolute dog in the playoffs. There can be very few mistakes on offense in order for us, because I don't think the defense is going to step up if our offense has a off game. You know what I mean? Like that's my worry. Like they're not going to pick up the offense. You get what I'm saying? So
no, I'm with you.
I think that's the main concern. By the way, Green Bay just
now they have Malik Willis in there just chucking the ball around.
27-0. My God.
It comes and says, "Wish we had a Terrell Bernard okay clip. That would be awesome, wouldn't it?" A few things around the league, real quick, Tommy, before we get out of here. Texans claim Deontay Johnson off waivers.
Oh wow! So he did get picked up pretty quick. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, they do need some receiver, right? They had some banged up, obviously, Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs. So let's see if that works out.
Yep. They said that Texans wide receiver Dell had tore his ACL and dislocated his kneecap. That was the injury.
I knew that was the bone that was popping out. His kneecap.
Was his kneecap. Ugh. Yep.
So he's gonna be out a while. I don't know if he even returns next year. That's brutal,
interesting to see because he also tore his ACL, and you know how
that's
long
what I mean.
takes.
Yeah, it's not just a break. Yeah. No, he's. Matter of fact, he's on. Listen, just I won't even play. I won't even get healthy, man. Rehab, and we'll worry about it the following year.
Gannon, the Cards head coach, said the collapse is an indictment on him, not the team. Head coach taking accountability. I like that.
All right.
49ers rule out. Yep. 49ers rule out left tackle Williams and a couple others for the last few games, so they're in tank mode.
Oh, tank mode. All right. Well, you lose to the Dolphins. That's a wrap.
Raiders came out and said, "We're not looking to tank. We don't do this to lose."
Ooh, okay. All right.
Mahomes' ankle should be okay on short week. First play of the game, he took off, ran for like a touchdown. So don't give me that that his ankle was bothering.
Right.
So, you know, that kind of covers the around the league.
All right.
I'm Prison Mike.
Good job, Mikey.
Pena's too close with McDermott and Pagula for a change. I don't know. Like, listen, Bean said he's going to trade himself before he trades Josh. So if Josh is going to walk out the door and says, "I'm not willing to negotiate because I'm not happy with the leadership of this team," I bet your ass Bean walks into McCool's office and says something, regardless of how close he is.
Is it going to take like Josh Allen's brother to start tweeting on Twitter? It's going to take somebody else like Stephon Diggs' brother. Man, boy, Allen would look really good in a Cowboys uniform.
Wait until they say Allen looked great in San Francisco uniform.
Right, you're right.
Go back to his hometown.
Oh my God, you're right. That's his team. Yeah, jeez, man. Better.
Put him with Shanahan.
Better fix shit quick, guys.
Yeah, makes mistakes, shooting himself in the foot. I mean, they talked about what happens in the playoffs. They said that in the regular season, there's a handful of checks. In the postseason, there's like 50 checks. They're trying to play perfect football and defense, and it just doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Babbitt isn't equal to Joe Brady, in my opinion. I like Bobby Babbitt, but he's a young DC. Got to give him time to grow. This is his first shot. Joe Brady was an OC in college and then became an OC in the pros.
Yeah, he had a little experience.
So he's had some experience. Give Babbitt, it's his first year. Give him some time to grow into it. I think he's been good at adjustments. One of his game plans to catch up to his adjustments. That's why we pray the Bengals don't sneak in the playoffs. If we face them, we're in trouble. That defense is garbage. It'll be a shootout. Yeah. That freaking defense that the Bengals have is not good. Drake May has been compared to Josh Allen. Is it possible the Giants fire Babel and then he become the Patriots OC? Leslie Frazier become the DC. Stephon Diggs, the free agent, could be May's number one receiver. Just recreate.
I think Diggs goes to Dallas, in my opinion, because he wants to play for his brother. And I
play with his brother.
Yeah,
his brother's out for the year with another injury again. So
did he get hurt again? Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah, he's done for the
poor
year.
guy. I will say this: Dallas surprisingly beat Tampa. I did not have that. I did not see that coming.
No,
I thought Tampa looked great. Tampa, once again, though, Tampa is a weird fucking team, and so is Baker Mayfield. He'll have games where he just looks unbelievable, and then he'll have another game where he just looks fucking terrible. Like, or
you know who I linked him to? Mike Bibby. Do you remember Mike Bibby?
Of course, Sacramento Kings.
Yeah. Yep. So Mike Bibby, in the first 3 shots, you know if it's gonna be a good night or a bad night for him.
Right.
You're like, after his 3rd shot, you're gonna know if he's made them, it's gonna be a good night. He's gonna be on fire. If he's missed all 3, don't give him the ball again because he's gonna keep throwing them up and he's gonna keep missing.
Yeah. I feel like him and Cousins were also kind of comparable. Like Cousins had his moments, and so does Baker. You're like,
Yeah.
remember early in the season, Cousin was looking freaking phenomenal some games, right? And then he would just have these games, and I think that's Baker, man. I like Baker, but like I said, man, I just think he's too inconsistent for a quarterback to like truly win a Super Bowl. You have to have like a really good defense that kind of picks him up when he has bad games like that.
Spen comes in and says Bengals have like a 10% chance to make it, even if they win out and Denver loses out. Yeah, because they need both Indy and Miami to lose.
Yeah, I don't think Miami gets in either.
The cup itself takes a long time to heal. Yeah, it does. Lots of guys going to get comps with Josh forever. Remember, Dayball was hired solely to turn Danny Pennies into Allen.
Yeah.
Levis got compared. Richardson got prepared. Like Josh Allen, we said it when he got drafted and he turned into what he did after that the 2020 season when he really turned. We're like, Josh Allen's going to get a lot of GMs fired because people are going to feel like they can do the same thing. Josh Allen's an anomaly. He's a unicorn.
Exactly. Yeah. I
get better doing the thing Josh Allen did.
Yeah, you can't compare Drake, especially now. Like we'll go back to that conversation. Yeah, we'll go back to that conversation of May. Let's do that in 2 more years. See where May's at.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in the offseason too.
Yeah,
is Josh Allen faking his injury?
No, he had his funny bone hit, and it was cold as shit. And they did put like a hand warmer on, so it definitely was like his hand just was not. He couldn't wake back up for a little while, so it is what it is.
Josh only fakes it if he has a chance to get.
Yeah, now that I agree. He's a hell of an actor.
Cool. But you know what? Tom Brady's
He's
the one who told him
LeBron
to do
James.
It. Yeah, you know Brady like now like condemns it, but Brady's the one who told him to do it.
Yeah, you know who the worst is? LeBron James though. That dude, like you would think he would got shot, bro. Like, he flies when he. But
now they get in trouble for it.
Yeah, well, it's still tough, but you're right. Yeah, it's a little ridiculous.
He won't be able to go to San Francisco because Birdie's getting a 20-year, $8 billion deal. That is crazy. They're going to give him that much money.
Yeah, as well.
You know, he flops for the flag. There's a.
You know what he noticed too on Josh? He'll flop and then he'll look at the ref and go.
If he's injured, you can't get burnt like toast. Right? He'll be like,
right. The helmet.
Always pointing to himself, like, hey, you hit me.
Right. Oh my god.
Flops don't equal fake injuries. Balance flops. He does flop, but he also flops when they make contact. Very rarely does he flop.
Yeah, he's not doing it.
There's been a few of them. But most of the time, like when they hit him, he does exaggeration to show the refs that they got hit.
Right. Yeah.
There are a few where he's like not got hit and he's gotten it, but there's not many of those. But every team does it, so it's funny that Josh is just better at it than most. I guess maybe he's taking lessons from Haley.
Yeah, he's acting lessons, right?
He's getting better at it. I just see us say Mahomes is faking, but when Allen gets hurt, some say he's faking, and we get so defensive. I don't think Mahomes is faking. I think Mahomes really got his ankle rolled up on. That looked nasty.
Oh no!
However, he wrapped it.
He definitely did.
Mahomes is like a superhero, man. Like when he gets hurt, he plays better.
Yeah, I don't know if his bones are like Gumby bones where he just bends.
Josh is the same way though. Josh had a partially torn UCL, then chucked the ball 70 yards on a dime.
Yeah, the very next drive. Yeah, the very next play. Yeah, that was wild.
Those guys are just amazing. And
they're built different. They're just tough, man. They're built different.
No,
Mahomes doesn't though. I will say this: Mahomes doesn't have like the same structure as Allen, where it looks like he could. Like, you know what I mean? Have that, like, he doesn't have that build where it's like, damn, that dude can run through people and take a hit. And but he's just tough son of a bitch. I mean, he is.
And high ankle sprains don't affect him.
Bro,
guys, that stuff like that happens.
Yeah.
Drake May is closer to Jordan Love than Allen. Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm with you on that. Colts do need Bengals or Miami to win out, plus Denver to lose out to make the playoffs. Miami needs Denver to lose out. Bengals need Denver to lose out, and both Miami to lose one. I would love to see the Colts get in. I'd love to see them in the first round.
Yeah.
That'd be beautiful. Sucks, man. Mahomes like Kobe Bryant and Jordan. Our guys like Tracy McGrady and Clyde Drexler. I don't agree with that thing because when you look at football, it's a team sport. Like you take Josh Allen and you put him on the Chiefs. Josh Allen's doing the same things Mahomes doing. It's built the way they are.
It's a team game. It's
a
little different.
Like he has an offense.
I'm not saying basketball's not a team
head
game,
coach, an offensive head coach.
Yeah.
He has a stud on defense with former head coaches at both his coordinators too. Like he walked into, all pros with Hill and Kelsey. He has the best interior offensive line in football. And granted, his tackles are horrible, but like you look at it, and of course he's going to win. He has guys that are built a team built around him. Josh walked off the field with 13 seconds to beat him, and the defense found a way to choke it up.
Exactly. It's different seeing basketball. You got to remember too. They play offense and defense, right? It's a little different. Like you're not depending on somebody else, another unit to come in and like finish the game. So Allen only could do what he could do, and then it's up to the defense. Allen can't play defense, right? He's not can't do both. So football is just so different, Mikey. You have your team. It's a team, such a team game, and everything it's a game of inches, it's a game of turnovers. Like everything has to go right to reach the Super Bowl and to win a Super Bowl. That's why only one team a year wins. Like it's tough to get there. Everything has to go right, man. Pretty much things have to go your way. And bro, for the Bills, they just haven't gone our way, man. Like things just, and that's not Allen's fault. It doesn't make Allen less than it's just the team's not as strongly built as the Chiefs, and they don't have a leader.
They don't have
as far as a head coach. Yeah, and they don't have a head coach like Andy Reid. Like our head coach is not Andy Reid. That's just facts. So, and you're right. We don't have a Chris Jones. We don't have like certain like guys on the other side of the ball that can close the game.
To close out the game that we need. That's what we brought in Vaughn for, and then he got hurt.
Right. Yeah.
At the end of the day. And Eggman, you're welcome here. Regardless, everyone here is welcome. Appreciate you adding in. Let's have a counter to Mahomes. Didn't have a counter to Brady.
My God. The Saints 0 points tonight. What an awful game. 34-0. Game over.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one too. Basketball is a 7-game series, so normally the better team wins.
You're right.
Football's a one and done. It's who's better that day.
Yeah. Yep. Same with college. Like that's a wrap, Jack. Ain't no tomorrow.
All right, dude. We've been here for over 2 hours.
Yeah, it's time to go. All right. So listen, guys. Tomorrow, Wednesday, I will be doing a live stream. Definitely for the Chiefs game.
You said tomorrow or did you say Wednesday?
Wednesday. Wednesday. Sorry. I'm sorry, guys. Wednesday. I'll be here Christmas doing the Christmas Day game. What time's that game? Wednesday. Let me see if I can look that up real quick. So, because I don't know if I'll do both because that's a long stream. That's freaking 6 hours. Let me see here. So,
2 hours, another 2.
So the Chiefs game, it starts at 1. I'm definitely going to stream that one. I'll see how I feel about the 4:00 game, Ravens Texans. That's a good one.
I won't be able to do because at 1, I'm 3 hours behind that time. So
that's fine.
Let me
if
know
I'm still on,
if you're doing the afternoon one, let me know. I'll pop in.
That's fine. So guys, look for me Wednesday. I'll be live for the Chiefs game for sure. Live streaming. Not that you're going to get anything super spectacular from me. It's just a watch along, talking shit, whatever. And then Friday we'll be back for Friday Night Lights at 9:00, and then Saturday is the last Fantasy Kingdom, I believe. Right, last show for you guys.
Yep.
And that's at 2:00.
We'll do some stuff in the off season around the draft and things like that, but it'll be our last, regular season show.
There you go. And then a 4:00 AFC East shakedown on Mafia Sports Board. So there's your lineup.
Roy. Yes, Roy. The games are only on Netflix. On
Yeah, wow, right? And speaking of Netflix, Roy, boy, I hope they get it right this time because that Mike Tyson fight was terrible. Streaming issues, big time for Netflix. So this is their next big test when it comes to football because if it's like the Tyson fight, oh my God, they're going to get a lot of heat, bro.
Ooh.
So, anyways, guys, we appreciate you guys. Bills Mafia, you guys rule. Everybody in the chat tonight, you guys are awesome, excellent, and enjoy your holidays. Enjoy your Christmas with your family and friends. Be safe, and we are out of here. Bills Mafia, we love you. As always, go Bills. Peace.
Go Bills.